Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's stream, Friday night stream. It is the end of the week, we have managed to get there, so we deserve to have a bit of fun, and that's what we're doing this week. We are playing a game that I am very much looking forward to, or I have been looking forward to a great deal, and it hasn't disappointed on any level. This is Romance of the Three Kingdoms XIV on Nintendo Switch. It was released on PlayStation 4 a year or two ago, I think, and now it is available on the go for the first time, courtesy of this release. And we're going to play some of one of the campaigns that are available to you, so you'll be able to get a good look at what this game involves if you haven't played it yet. But I definitely recommend you do. There's a review on digitallydownloaded.net, and I certainly recommend you check that out. Hello, Diddy Ram. Welcome to the stream. Rabby Ribby, huh? How did you find Rabby Ribby? Good content? Good content, I hope. We'll give people a moment or two to jump on, and then we'll get going. We're in no rush. This is a very slow-paced game indeed, because it is a turn-based strategy game, effectively, so you do take your time with it. For people who've never played a Romance of the Three Kingdoms game before, it is obviously named after a very famous historical fiction book about the early era of China, a series of wars that took place around 0 BC. Well, there we go, we got the dates there. 180 AD was the start of the Three Kingdoms era, and it features an awful lot of characters. The book itself is about 2,000 pages long, if not longer. It is a very, very long book, and it just depicts an endless stream of conflicts because the country splintered into three. That's where Three Kingdoms comes from, and then they just kept invading one another basically for a period of time until eventually one group took over and managed to take over the whole place. So you get to play through an awful lot of different campaigns. On the base game, these are all historical ones. They're all based on actual battles that occurred through the book. And then over here there's a couple more. There's also a couple of fictional ones which are just kind of what-if scenarios that they've thrown in there for fun. And there's a couple of DLC ones that are included with the game if you buy it. There's also a season pass which I haven't bought yet, which is another $75 or whatever, but it contains a lot of additional content. This game is an expensive one, but it does become a hobby in itself. You can spend hundreds of hours playing this game easily. I love Japanese culture, but no, I can't name the top 10 works by Mushitaro. I can name 10 vending machines that I've been to. Just as I was about to start this stream, NHK World, which is it's the international arm of Japan's public service broadcaster, posted this thing about samurai vending machines. So as you order your drink, you get spoken to in a samurai tone. It was a pretty cool little article. So yeah, vending machines. I miss Japan a great deal. The vending machines over there are great. We are probably going to play this one, I think. So Three Kingdoms started with the Yellow Turban Rebellion, which was every Dynasty Warriors game also starts with it. It's the first scenario of any Romance of the Three Kingdoms game, because it really kicked off the time of troubles as such. But it in itself is not the most wildly engaging scenario, because it is basically an entire alliance against one major enemy, and this one is a lot more interesting. So after the Yellow Turbans were dealt with by an alliance of all the other factional warlords, then this character called Dong Zhao took over. He was a bit of a tyrant, so an alliance formed against him, but he was a little bit more of a competent leader than the Yellow Turbans, which was really just a peasant rebellion. So we'll play this one, I think. And after that, you get to basically pick which side you want to join. And you've got a series of different settings that you can choose here. This is all fine for me. So just press OK. And now we pick the leader that we want to use. You can basically play as any warlord. And obviously, depending on the strength of the warlords, the difficulty of the battle or the campaign, weaker ones have a lot tougher time of it. So, for example, Liu Bei here, he's actually one of the major characters of Romance of Three Kingdoms, but at this point in the historical fiction, he was incredibly weak. He was just, you know, he was just struggling to get by. So you can play as him, but it's very much not recommended because the difficulty is 5-star there. On the other hand, if you play as Dong Zhao, he's in a very dominant position to start the game off. He's got an awful lot of troops, he's got a lot of wealth. He actually owns the capital of China at that point, so yeah, he's quite a bit easier to get through the game with if you want. We are going to go with... who will we go with? Who will we go with? I think we'll go with Sun Jian. I always kind of go with him, I must admit. He was in the Three Kingdoms books as well. He's my favourite kind of character. So, and he's not too difficult at this point in time. He's in a pretty good position, and he's got plenty of resources on his side. So we'll go with this. What difficulty will we do? Just go with normal, I think. I'll just go with base settings, the default. Do I know much about Sun Jian? Yes. I mean, I have read Romance of the Three Kingdoms through, so I was inspired by Dynasty Warriors when I started playing those games, and as a result, I did pick up a copy of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I must admit, I haven't looked too much into the real history beyond the fiction, because I know that's quite difficult. Excuse me, quite difficult to do, especially in English. So, but most of what I know is based on the fictionalized account of him and his family in the Three Kingdoms. As you can see, I mean, Dynasty Warriors is probably a little bit more popular in the West still than Three Kingdoms, and everybody knows Dynasty Warriors is these really exaggerated character arts and stuff, and weapons and whatever. This one is much more serious in tone. It tries to be a much more genuine strategy game and reflection of the time period, and they've got these really gorgeous character portraits that help to set the scene. The game itself is quite simple visually, which we'll see soon enough, but the character portraits really help to set the scene. It's actually quite a narrative-driven strategy game as well. There's a lot of cutscenes and things that happen throughout, because it tracks along with the progress of the book and key scenes that happen then, so we'll probably see all of that soon enough. The disappointing thing, I guess, in a way, or in a pretty significant way for me anyway, they go to a much lesser effort to put female characters into the game than they do with Dynasty Warriors. So with Dynasty Warriors, you've got all the kind of the female warriors like Sun Zhang, Lady Sun, Lady Sun, Diao-chan. You've got various other female characters, Lady Lu Bu's daughter. I can't remember her name, but there's probably a dozen or so female characters that they've put into Dynasty Warriors, but they have a very small role in the actual book, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and they're not really in this game as a result. No girls, no buy. Yes, unfortunately there's not too many girls in this one. So there's Cao Cao. He's kind of the tyrant as such. He ends up being one of the three leaders of the Three Kingdoms, and he's the one that nobody likes. He got written up really badly in Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I think that the real histories are probably a little bit more generous to him, because the thing you have to know about Romance of the Three Kingdoms is it is a very fictionalized account, and the author of the book had a very specific frame of mind, and he wanted to push a certain agenda. So his book is quite embellished in places. And poor Cao Cao misses out a bit. He's kind of the enemy that everybody has to fight because he's a vicious tyrant sort. It's actually a deliberate design. I don't know if it shows up so well on the screen in terms of the sprite animation being laggy. I think that's a deliberate thing. It's like it's a series of pictures rather than an animated thing, because it just looks too deliberate. I can't actually remember if that was the case with the PlayStation 4 version of the game, so I don't know if that's a thing that they've done with the Switch, perhaps to preserve memory or whatever, but it is an aesthetic effect. Whether it's good or not is debatable, I guess, but it is deliberate, I think. So at the moment, they're just, all the characters are talking about how they're going to have to beat this Dong Zhao down a bit. There is Dong Zhao himself, always depicted as a big boy with a big bushy beard and a very sinister face. He always looks like that. Right, there we go. So that is our little territory. That is what we start with. It's all split up into hexes, as all good strategy games should be. Hexes are gold in strategy. And the basic idea is just to capture places and turn them into your own territories, and eventually unify the whole world. So here is some rivals up here. They've got different colors. You can zoom out, zoom out. So as you can see, it's quite a big map, is China. It's a big country. It's a very big country. And one of the reasons I like to play as Sun Jian is he starts down here, you see. And he's got good numbers in his troops. And Dong Zhao, the big bad guy of this scenario, he's all the way up there. So we have plenty of time before we have to deal with him. As this is a 4X strategy game, there is quite a lot of... oops, I can zoom out even further. There's quite a lot of management, not just of the military affairs, but also your domestic affairs. So this bit, as I play along, some of this probably won't make too much sense, and that's fine. The game does have a very good quality tutorial that will walk you through if you do decide to play it yourself, but I'm going to not try to explain how to play the entire game as I go. But what I will do first is set up my domestics. So you've got two different forms of government, area government and a city government. Area government's the one I'm going to deal with first. And for that, you select your capital city. You can select an overseer for the area. These are all my generals. They all belong to me. There are some women, you see. But not many. And they don't play much of a role in the narrative. I will put Chengpu in as the governor of this town, and you can make them focus on commerce, agriculture, or barracks, which is pretty self-explanatory. You make them focus on commerce, they get more money into your coffers. You focus on agriculture, they build up, more food and stuff. And you focus on barracks, and the military gets stronger. So I'm going to focus on commerce here. And then this city as well. So the first turn in this game does take a little while because you do need to go through the process of setting everything up. That'll be my breadbasket of the area, and oops. I have not bought Flowers Four Seasons for Switch yet. I really should. That would probably be the best way to just practice my Japanese, is just buy the thing in Japanese and just play it. I should. I should. I wish I had the time. I'll put Sun Jiang in there, and he will also focus on commerce. I like to build up a lot of money when I play strategy games. Okay, so now that I've done that... No. Now that I have done that, and those are all in position, next up I want to manage my city government. So the city government is a little bit different in that you're just kind of looking to gather troops together. I'll put my son, Sun Jian's son is Sun Se. Well, he's in charge of recruitment. And then you also have a training officer. I'll put Zhou Yu in. So now I'm going to be recruiting soldiers as we go along here. There we go. Any other domestics to deal with? Not right now. So one other thing, force commands, appointments, administration. Okay, that's already in place. Okay, good. That is all fine. Oops. I put him in charges. I just auto-selected that. There are some auto-select options that you can do. Ah, crap. I run out of turns. There are some auto things that you can do if you don't want to deal with this yourself. You can just get the AI to do it for you. But I've run out of activities I can do in this turn, so I need to progress time. And just like that, time is going to pass. Everybody else takes their turns. You can see the little time thing up in the top left there. So once everybody's done their strategic planning, once you start the timer, everything happens in real time for as long as that timer lasts, which is the equivalent, I think, of 10 weeks in game. And obviously, once you've given orders, you have to wait until that 10 weeks is up to give new orders. So you kind of need to be good at predicting what your opponents are going to do as well. If they're going to send soldiers around, see? These people here are sending soldiers out and about to capture territory, increase their presence. So have you read Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Diddy? I don't think we've ever actually talked about the book. Have you actually read it? And that's my update. So I've spent a little bit of money in supplies, but that's fine. Okay, confirm. So first up, I need to appoint a new city manager. Oh no, Zhao Yuzek. Okay, so I'm going to march now. Can I make them release Gravity Rush PC ports? I would love to. I would love nothing more than Gravity Rush to be available on other things. Sony could put it on the Switch too if they really wanted to. Just show some solidarity there. They're obviously not going to do anything with it, so why not give it to Nintendo? People would love it on the Switch. So let's build up some units. I'm going to Hangdeng. I'm going to grab 3 leaders out, I think. Yeah, 3 leaders will do me for now. And now obviously I've got to assign some troops to them. I'll give them each 2,500 troops is enough. think. Yeah. 2,500 troops is enough for each of them. Okay, there we go. So now that I've got those three out, I can send them to start capturing territories. You see, this is what I would need to be doing. So, Hang Deng. What am I doing? Select. Ah, what have I done? What have I done? I've gone and screwed up and messed up all my units. I have to do that again. I'm sorry. I hate doing these things live sometimes because you can mess up and you're wasting people's time. Alright, let's try this again. We'll just select one unit for now. And we'll give him 2,500 troops. Yeah, Journey to the West is certainly a popular book in Japan as well. So for people who don't know, there are 4 books which are kind of considered classics of classical, you know, the 4 great novels of classical Chinese literature. Romance of Three Kingdoms is one. Journey to the West, which everybody knows as Monkey, is another one. Another one is Water Margin, which was probably, in the West anyway, it's probably best known as the base material for Suikoden. Which there hasn't been a new one of those for a while, but that's the base material for that. And the other one, I can't actually remember what the 4th one was, which I feel very stupid for, but yeah. Alright, so let's send Hang Ding to capture Lingjiang. And he'll conquer that. So that's one. Yes, I know I need to watch Dogura Makura. I know. I'm very slow with watching these things. I understand, it's frustrating. That you keep recommending these things to me and I just don't find the time for them. I should, I know. Believe me, I wish I did have all the time in the world for these things. So let's send Zhu Mao out. Give him 2,500 soldiers, just in case he runs into an enemy. And I will send him... I'll send him over to here. These territories here, which don't have any coloured hexagons, they're just not... They don't belong to any nation at this stage, so they're free captures, basically. Capture that one. So that's now 2 I've sent out. And I'll send one more out, which can be Juji. So I'm a bit slow to respond to the I know, I'm concentrating. Am I a lolicon? No, I'm not a lolicon. Not at all. Not on any level. Nope. I'll send that unit. It's a bit of a long trip. But if I can capture that, then that's a pretty defensible spot because there's only one mountain there. It kind of blocks the units from moving through. It's a natural defensive fortification. So let's grab that one as well. Conquer. That will be enough for now. So now after I've done all of that, I will be able to watch that play out. See, now there are all my little units there. They're going to march as time goes on. They march on auto. I can't control them again now until the end of the turn. So if they were to run into enemies, then they do their fighting thing. And as you can see, now that they're moving into territory that was not previously mine, they're capturing it, which turns it red, which is my nation's colour, and that becomes my territory then. And these territories are kind of split up into little states as such. So if I see, you can see the little outline around Linjiang there. To actually own the entire state area, I would need to capture every little square or hexagon in that space, which he'll do because I've given him the order to just wander around and do all the capturing. It'll take a while, but the resources it adds to my nation is pretty significant. What is my wallpaper? What is my wallpaper at the moment? Hang on a second, I'll check for you. My wallpaper is currently the Aero logo because my computer is a Aero from Gigabyte. I so rarely actually go back to desktop that I never actually bothered to change it. Okay. So confirm. And now they all are going to continue on with their duties. What I'm going to do next is send a larger force to capture an actual kind of capital city, which is that one. It'll put me in close conflict with this nation, but they don't actually have many troops. You can see they've only got 4,000 troops there, so let's do that. I will march one of my lesser commanders, I think, maybe Sun He, and maybe two. I'll send to Sun Ben, and maybe the woman to Wu Gotai. There we go. Let's send those three, and we'll give them some troops each. Yep. $6,000 should be enough in total. Yep. I don't have many wallpapers. I've got some tapestries that I hang around. They're all Hatsune Miku's though. We've got one Marie Rose. Right. Conquer. I'm going to conquer the capital there. Make it my territory. This is at the very south of China, by the way, just in case. Ah, see, they've sent some troops over there to try and capture. They're going wide. They want to capture across the bottom, so I need to keep up with them. And do I want to... I might as well, actually. I might as well just keep doing this. It's quite slow at the start because you're not going to run into too many enemies to fight. But obviously, you know, the goal needs to be to collect as many territories as you can from the outset, because you need those resources once the fighting starts. Okay. Give him 2,000. Give him 2,000. And I send those ones over here to... Well, actually, no, I'm going to send it all the way over to there, to Wuling. Let's capture Wuling. Okay. So we have got other options, things we can do here. So, for example, foreign commands. You can send goodwill to nearby nations. There's all these nations that you can try to ally with. If I was to send some goodwill up to Lubiao, which is the one just north of me, that might stop him from attacking me. And we'll do it personally. Let's send our ruler for the diplomacy benefits. Let's give him some gold. So I've gone and tried to start making friendly with... There's also these plots that you can do, so once you get into conflict you can start to sabotage your opponents there. You can go searching for new warlords to join your army. And down in Sanction, that's where you can eventually start to trade with overseas powers. So you can actually trade with... This is new for the... for this expansion. It wasn't in the base Romance of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14 on the PlayStation 4 and PC and whatever. The base game doesn't have that, but in the expansion, which is what the Switch version is, you can trade with countries like Italy and Rome and India and stuff, the other great nations of the ancient world, and that gives you additional benefits as well. So you can do foreign trade, which is new for Romance of the Three Kingdoms. It's a neat touch. I actually enjoy that, but not right now. Right now, we are capturing things. There's all those units that I just created. They're off to do their thing now. I now own this city here because I captured it. And that unit, these ones, had to travel across water, so that took them a little bit longer. It takes a while to get across rivers, but now they're there, so they'll do their thing. It's all going good. No, I have not been the subject of a reverse Namper attempt. Never. I have not. Okay, so that's another turn done. Everything's a little bit stable there. The supplies are starting to, chip down, but that will improve now. I can start to focus now that I own this territory, for example. I can focus on giving that over to one of my leaders, Wu Jing, and if I focus him on agriculture, then that will start to improve the supplies coming into my army. Yes, but I'm a married gamer, you see. Alright. So here we go. This is the little diplomacy thing that I was telling you about, or I did just a turn or two ago. Sun Jian is there actually trying to hang out with Liu Bao and make an alliance. And that worked. So I've improved the relations with them by giving them some cash. And now we are friendly. If I keep building that relationship, I can turn them into an alliance, and that will stop them from causing me too much trouble. Once we're in an alliance, they'll leave me alone. More or less. No longer fans to service, Hadidi. I did not ignore that. Okay. Good stuff. So now Yi Yang is mine. I can give that over to a leader. Who will I give that to? They're all busy conquering. Have I got anybody left? I don't have anybody left to actually give it to. That's not good. That'll have to wait. What I can do, I don't have enough leaders anymore. I need to try and find some new recruits. So I can go to foreign. No, not foreign. What am I doing? Sanction. Plots. People. Had a mind blank there. I can search, employ. So these are all the kind of the leaders around that you could potentially employ by wooing them to your side, or you can search for one that hasn't been discovered yet, which is what I will do. And there we go. What the heck game is that? Is that honey pop or something? There we go. I have captured a new city. So that's a little bit different to the towns that I've been capturing to this point. Cities are a lot more important, of course. We are nearly at the end of another turn, and then we'll need to start managing this news here. Threesomes are banned. Yeah, that's not going to be much fun. Wouldn't want to live in a world like that. Okie dokie. So who's in the city there? You can zoom in pretty nicely. It's a pretty nice looking game, is not? It's simple, but the aesthetics are good, I think. Okay, so we've got area government or city government. I want to do the city government right now. Sun Ben is going to recruit some new soldiers for me. Cost me a bit of money, but that'll be worth it. Otherwise, I still don't have any more officers to play around with, so I'm just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Am I voting on Jads? What's Jads? You have to explain that one to me. Don't know that one.
参ろう。向かおう。参ろう。 任せてくれ。見ての通りだ。確認してくれ。出立いたします。行くか。行こう。向かおう。
And I should be back. Sorry about that. I did have a muted mic. Thank you for noticing that, Dithy. I'm not sure what happened. It just decided to knock itself out, I think. I should be back now. You should be able to hear me, right? It's showing that the mic thing is working again. You got to enjoy the... you are sorry, this is good. Yeah, you got to enjoy the lovely music for a little bit there. The Romance of Three Kingdoms games, I was just saying, I'm not sure what I was saying before it got, you know, the mic got muted on me. But what I was saying was a lot of the Romance of Three Kingdom games were quite complex, and it would take the learning curve for them was quite difficult. And Koei Tecmo took a very deliberate effort to make this one much more accessible, and they did succeed with it. It's not pick up and play because no grand strategy game is, but you do learn it within an hour or so, and getting better at it is quite a seamless process. So they've done a really good job with that. Other than that, I was just saying the music's really nice in Romance of the Three Kingdoms games. Playing a great game. Well, if I was to play Flowers, I'd ruin the story for everyone, wouldn't I? I couldn't do that to people. That would be quite rude of me. I'm going to go over to here to a point. And where's my other city? There we go. I should be able to domestics, city government, training officer, no. Area government, I mean. Yes, I couldn't possibly do that. I wouldn't want to upset anybody and ruin good stories on them, you see. Let's focus on the commerce there, I think. They're all on missions to conquer. I'm going to send my leader, the king man, boss man himself, to a little outpost town, just so he can focus, because he's really good. Sun Jian is very good at his job, so he can rapidly increase that little town. So I mean, if you think about this as it's almost an hour that we've been playing now, and I've been pretty focused on it. I haven't distracted myself too much, but that's all that we've got still of all of China. This game is quite the time intensive one. If you let it be, you can. There is an option with the Switch one, and it is a new edition for the Switch version as well as the expansion on PC and PlayStation 4. But there are these War Chronicle modes, which are short battles with just a couple of factions which focus on one particular battle within Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Those are over much more quickly, and they added those to give people who didn't have that much time a way to play the game and enjoy it. You also get like a score at the end of those chronicles, and if you do well, obviously your score's better. So there's kind of like that leaderboard style approach to it, which is pretty cool. It's a good feature. I wasn't sure if I thought I would think much of it because it just sounded like a remix of what you already do in the full game, but it does add something. So, yeah. Ooh. There was a plot. Somebody enacted a plot on me. How rude was that? There's a good boost to my economy. Done pretty well. So I've still got a couple of my leaders out trying to employ some new people, and until that happens, there's not too much else I can do. I'm still capturing all these territories with my minor units, and that's fine. I need to do that, so I guess I'm just going to have to continue. I just need more leaders at this point, so I can have more things to do, because every single one of my leaders is currently being used. Ah, he didn't find anybody. Damn it, Sun Ben. How dare you be useless. Sun Jiang and Zhao Yu better not let me down. Otherwise I might just have to get Tyrant on them. Rabby Weeby. I can't remember if I've played Rabby Weeby. Have I? I'll look up some screenshots of it. The name's familiar. What did I might have played it on? Oh no, I've played it. Of course. Played it on Switch. That game has charm. Leotards are always a good thing. Okay. What just happened? Somebody else failed. I missed that. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, something's happening. Some kind of plot thing. There we go. Oh, I've got a new rank. Very good. Thank you, Emperor Jean. I'm now Lieutenant Governor. Go me. It's a nice little bonus. Why is he always shouting? He's not, he's dramatically leading. He was a very dramatic fella. Oops. I think I've captured all of this, have I? Oh no, hang on. Alright, let's do that though. Let's capture this one. Let's capture this one. Link my nations together. My city's a bit closer. It's still doing a good job. Alright. What I'll also do is I will try to employ another one since I've had a couple of missed opportunities. Let's go with him. He's a nobleman. Alright, give it your best shot there, Wu Jing. I just need more people. My strategy requires it. Oh, another one's missed out. Wu Jing, how dare you. I'm being let down by my officers big time. They were all letting me down. I'm very disappointed by this. But them's the breaks, you gotta roll with them. Oh, that's when Sony cut my mic. Upcoming fan service games. So there's a Hyperdimension Neptunia game coming, and I know you love your Hyperdimension Neptunia games, Didi. It's the Virtual Idols one. That's coming up fairly soon. I think within the next couple of weeks, early March I think it comes out, so you can look forward to that. There's also Persona 5 Strikers, which is a kind of fan service. That comes out in the end of the month, although review embargo has lifted on that. What else is coming out that's fan servicey? I'm sure there's other ones. The Lick game's coming soon. The dungeon crawler with the lick mechanic. I don't know how fan servicey that is, but just a lick mechanic is definitely a fan servicey thing. So there's that as well. So I'm looking forward to the Virtual Idols game because they have got a lot of virtual idols that they've put into that game, so it could be a lot of fun. Oh, there we go. I got one. Right. Eventually. Li Su has joined me. Li Su has joined me. I have recruited somebody. Hallelujah. Yeah, the VTuber game. That's the one. That's coming out fairly soon. I should have a review code for that for myself to start to play it quite soon, I think, within the next couple of days. So just as I finish up on Azure Lane, I'll have another Idea Factory game to play. It'll keep me good and busy. It's not a self-insert game, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's not. Still costing me a lot of money, this Empire. It's actually costing me a lot more. My costs are escalating. But that's fine. Now, Lu Su should have joined me. Where is he? He hasn't joined me just yet. I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to show up. But I do have Sun Ce. And I'm going to send him out. Because if you're not growing, you're shrinking. That's the saying, isn't it? If you're not growing, you're going nowhere. So I will summon him, and I'll get him to capture this one, because that city is in the mountains, and that's a pathway to my capital. So let's grab that while we can. Good job, Sun Ce. Future king of my empire. Do your job. Okay, there we go. Just about captured that. I've captured that city, so now I can start to grow this place. Start to fill in the squares, painting the dots, however you want to describe it, and make it my own. And otherwise, just wait for my new general to join me, so I can send him out on missions. Get him to do his thing. I know it seems like it's taken a while to get here, but, you know, it is growing. Like, that is... The Empire is definitely growing. And we're not that far away from starting... Did this work? Oh, excellent. I've got another one. Sun Jing came through for me. Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't. Fan Chao decided to turn me down. Yeah, we're not that far away from actually being in conflict with this nation now. that's not too far away, because obviously my goal is to expand southwards first, and we're not that far away at this point now. Oh, that's pretty good. I am making money now. I'm making money. It is... the balance is getting a little bit down, but it is generally trending downwards, especially with regards to troops for some reason. I must have lost some troops somewhere. Maybe some attrition made some of them disappear or something. But anyway, things are not doing too badly. I'm steadily and sustainably overall growing my nation, I think is the best way to look at the situation that I'm in. And I think on that note, it's probably a pretty good place to finish here. I hope that was an interesting look at this game. As you can see, it is a relaxed paced strategy game. You do have plenty of time to think. It's more for people who do enjoy the more sedate paced games. It's not an action strategy game by any means, but it is one that I really love. I have played a lot of Romance of the Three Kingdoms games and Nobunaga's Ambition, which is the Japanese themed equivalent. They are very enjoyable for me. I have a lot of fun with them. I'm really glad that this one is on the Nintendo Switch, so I can play it on the go now as well. Thank you very much for joining us on the stream today, everybody. Tonight, Diddy especially. I've seen some other people popping up and watching along, but thanks for chatting with me as we've been playing. As always, have a great weekend. Play lots of games yourselves. And we'll probably be back in the morning for another Saturday morning stream. They seem to go pretty well, so I'm not sure what we'll play, but we'll play something. Anyway, in the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks as always for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.